CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. A Windsor jury took less than 4 hours today to come back with a guilty verdict. 47-year-old Brian Marbury was convicted today of first-degree murder in the death of his estranged wife, Sarah Boulay. Her mother telling CTV News outside of court it's not justice, but it is a relief to put the court process behind them.
I don't think there's any closure because we're not going to get her back, but we just want to move on and keep her memory alive and not have this trial sitting in the background.
Fartumo Kusau was one of the witnesses who testified at Marbury's trial in the last 3 weeks. She told the jury about her daughter's abusive 19-year relationship with Marbury. Kusau says her daughter suffered physical injuries over the years, including bruises, swollen eyes, even broken ribs after being in arguments with Marbury. In May 2023, Boulay was seeking a divorce, living at Hiatus House and starting a new relationship with a new man. She was killed the weekend of May 26th in a room rented by Marbury at a motel on Huron Church Road. People staying below heard the couple arguing. The jury was shown surveillance video of Marbury removing what appears to be a dead body from the room. Boulay's body was found 1 week after she was reported missing in a shallow grave in the woodlot behind the motel. Defense lawyer Ken Marley says the verdict is a disappointment.
I respect the decision of those 12 people, but I do not understand it. You may recall yesterday the judge told the members of the jury that in his opinion, the Crown's theory of first-degree murder was very thin. Those were his words.
Marley won't say if Marbury will appeal today's verdict. He expects a sentencing hearing will be held either later this fall or early next year. The assistant Crown attorneys on the case declined to comment until after the sentencing. Staying at Superior Court for another moment, a Windsor man has learned his fate for his role in the 2018 murder of Darian Moffat. Joining me now is our Robert Lothian. Robert, what was the decision?
Yeah, Michelle, this is the case that spans more than 7 years. That lengthy wait is a large factor for why Raul Hueso was sentenced to time served plus 1 day, a decision that Darian Moffat's family feels is the culmination of a broken justice system. About 40 people filled a Windsor Superior courtroom to hear the penalty for Raul Hueso. The 25-year-old admitted to standing guard outside a Hall Avenue home where 18-year-old Darian Moffat was murdered in September of 2018. Justice Bruce Thomas sentenced him to time served, crediting him for 4 years and 9 months, saying in his decision, "You step out of custody after one further day in custody to a new world for you. You make the best of it, I hope." While telling Moffat's family, "I can't imagine, quite frankly, the grief. I can't imagine the depth of your loss, and there is nothing that I can say that will assist you with that."
Obviously, extremely disappointed in the justice system, but I already know there's nothing that I can do.
Hueso admitted to knowing a kid was inside being assaulted for stealing. Originally charged with murder, he pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit an assault last week. This follows a 7-year process, including changing evidence in the COVID-19 pandemic.
So I don't feel like the justice system brings justice anymore. I just feel that, but at the same time, the case is only as strong as the evidence that the police collect.
A key piece of evidence being the bullet found in Moffat, which the court heard Wednesday was lost.
It was lost because the police decided to mail it instead of driving it down to the Center of Forensic Sciences. They say that's because there was a sudden policy change. That is undocumented.
The Crown attorneys on the case declined to comment. Crankshaw says her disappointment with the legal process is spurring a foundation in her son's honor to help other victims. As for Hueso, Crankshaw says she's choosing to forgive.
He's being given a second chance to do something positive with his life. If I can plant a seed of hope, then I'd rather do that than just have hatred in my heart for what has happened.
To date, there has not been a conviction in the murder of Darian Moffat. His mother says they're unsure they will ever receive that closure, but that won't stop her from carrying on his legacy. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much for this. Robert Lothian reporting tonight in the newsroom for us. Also new tonight, Windsor police have released 3 images of the same person who they believe is responsible for a rash of thefts this past summer. Police say between July 11th and August 18th, there were 4 separate thefts at several stores around the city. In each incident, police say the suspect went into the store, hid items, and left without paying. The suspect is described as a white man around 25 to 30 years old, around 5 feet 9 inches tall, with a medium build, short brown hair, and a beard. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor Police, or you can make an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. Delays reported once again today for students and faculty trying to get into St. Clair College.
No strikes are like this. It's kind of unfair to us because we have to wait like this.
Students were forced to wait again on Highway 3 to get into the college. Vehicles were being held up anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes by picketing OPSU support staff. The members have been on strike since September 11th, seeking better wages and language around job security. It was a source of frustration for those who just wanted to get to class on time.
I've been waiting for 20-30 minutes in this line, and yeah, I'm like very late to my class. Inside the building, I mean, I haven't really noticed anything. It's been really like the same. Like I just go to my classes, my teachers are all there, you know. That's really it.
The Nexstar Energy battery plant has another new milestone to report tonight. The 1,000th employee has now been hired, a recent grad of St. Clair College. They will be relocating back to Windsor from Ottawa to work as a quality inspector at the factory. 34 new people are currently being onboarded to work at the EV battery plant. Just last week, we told you the company announced construction of the building itself is complete. Nexstar began hiring in 2023, and officials maintain they are on track to ramp up electrode and cell production in the coming months. For employers looking to hire, advocates say there's an entire segment of our community that is all too often overlooked. As CTV's Sanjay Mara reports, hiring people with disabilities isn't only the right thing to do, advocates say it's also good for business.
John Aslan says he's attended about 100 job interviews in his lifetime, and he's lost count of how many times an employer's body language and tone shifted when he showed up in a wheelchair.
Sometimes I can almost see them shrink a little bit, like, oh, now I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. How do I approach this? How do I talk to that person?
Disability advocates say it's all part of a lingering stigma, fears over added cost or extra accommodations. And according to Erie Shores Healthcare, those misconceptions are costing qualified people much-needed jobs.
We believe it should be a priority for the region, for the province, for the country. I myself am a woman with a disability. I use a wheelchair full-time, so I do know the challenges of entering the workforce with a disability, but I also intimately know some of the value that you can add to an organization.
That value, advocates say, often comes from a greater work ethic, a drive to prove they're just as capable as anyone else. At Community Living Essex County, the Career Compass program focuses on matching employers with job seekers who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. But officials say getting buy-in from businesses can still be a challenge.
There is a little bit of a stigma when we deal with employers who may just not really be aware of what we do and of what the people that we support are capable of.
Some companies worry about saying the wrong thing or creating an HR problem they just don't want to deal with. But one solution some employers have embraced is what's called job carving.
That's where you would take a job that maybe doesn't actually already exist at a certain location, but it's a need that they have, and we found the right person to fill that need. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Advocates say when employers overlook this kind of flexibility, they also overlook a community eager to prove what it can do.
The fact that we have to work twice as hard or 3 times as hard as the next person to even just get the interview and get the job, we're also going to translate that into the actual work that we're doing for you. So we're going to work harder because we feel like we have to prove our value to you.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
It's Wednesday, and that means our Bob Belichico is on the sidelines. Tonight, that includes a new task for Windsor's Corey Belmore. He is the beer mile record holder, but now Belmore wants to take on the triathlon. He's now been certified to go pro, and Belmore told Bob he's looking forward to this next challenge.
I just have to be, it's a 4-hour race at the end of the day, so you can't really rush the process. I can't go tomorrow and train like 30 hours a week. You kind of got to every year or every couple months increase the workload, and then you don't want to get injured. So it's just, if you can stay healthy, keep increasing the workload, turn the dials little by little, that's how you get better, and I'm willing to work.
And to the links with kudos for St. Clair College's golf coach Kevin Corriveau. He's been named the OCAA's Golf Coach of the Year for a 3rd straight year. Corriveau is also the league's nominee for National Coach of the Year. He says it's all very humbling.
I have amazing players. I have assistant coaches. I didn't hit a single shot. And I'm just happy for everybody that it happened. You don't expect it. You don't think about it. But it happened, and I'm happy for the college. I'm happy for our team. I'm just blessed, honestly.
There's a special place for Bob's entire sports segment on our website. Just search the word sidelines. But keep it here. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And then later, meet arguably the biggest Blue Jays fan. His impressive collection and obsession revealed later in our newscast.
5K a day is back on 93.9 Virgin Radio. Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
After a gorgeous autumn day, CTV meteorologist joins me now. Gary, really hoping that there's more of today's weather in that forecast.
No, I agree with you, Michelle. Beautiful day, beautiful blue sky. Air quality was great. It was cool, but seasonal, what we'd expect as we approach the middle of October. It is the fall season, after all. Today's daytime temperature of 17 degrees on the nose was normal, right? Within the parameters of what we would expect at this time of the year. Average high is just a half degree warmer, and the low today of 7.6 degrees Celsius was just a 1/10 of a degree Celsius below the average. The overnight conditions are mostly clear. In fact, the next 24 to 48 hours, a ridge of high pressure is going to keep things rather quiet. Not likely to see any precipitation across the region, at least until maybe Friday late in the afternoon. I think more so through the overnight into early Saturday. Sunday also could see some showers. More on that in just a moment. The temperatures do take a nosedive. Now, this is actually below seasonal by 4 degrees. Our average low is closer to 7. We're looking at 3, and whenever we get to about 3 or 2 degrees Celsius on the plus side, we still talk about a slight chance of frost developing under a clear night. The low-lying areas could see some of that formation. So protecting your plants and your trees is always a good idea, starting even now as we head into the winter months. The temperatures are cool to start. 8 a.m., mostly sunny, but at that juncture, we're looking at 4 degrees Celsius. The winds predominantly out of the northeast, reinforcing the cold air, or cooler air mass, I should say, that's already in place. Sunny and not so warm during the noon hour, 11 degrees. Sunshine through 4 to 5 p.m., reaching a peak of 16. The UV index is moderate to high, so protect yourself, of course, the next couple of days. Friday, 19 and sunny, 2 degrees above season. Then we'll see upper teens, low 20s throughout Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent for the weekend. It's a long weekend with Thanksgiving on Monday, and we're looking at some light shower activity possible both days on the weekend, but Thanksgiving, 21 degrees, a mixture of sun and cloud looks good, and then we'll see increasing sunshine Tuesday into Wednesday and holding in the low 20s. Not a bad looking forecast. The weekend's not a complete washout, so Thanksgiving should be great, at least for us, not the turkey, of course.
Thanks so much, Gary. Charges against former fashion mogul Peter Nygaard have been stayed in court today, citing lost evidence. This comes only months before Nygaard was set to stand trial in Manitoba. CTV's Alex Karpa reports from Winnipeg.
A Manitoba judge found Peter Nygaard's right to a fair trial was violated by police who failed to retain records related to allegations dating back over 3 decades. Nygaard was charged in 2023 after a woman came forward alleging he sexually assaulted her during a visit to his Winnipeg warehouse in 1993. The complainant spoke with RCMP at her home in Vancouver about a week after the alleged assault. Court documents say she didn't want to press charges. In 2020, she decided to come forward, and Winnipeg police launched an investigation.
Obviously, he's satisfied with the outcome.
Jerry Wiebe is the lawyer for the 84-year-old former fashion mogul. She filed a motion last month to stay the charges, arguing the failure by police to keep records of the complainant's first interaction with officers undercut Nygaard's right to a fair trial. Judge Mary Kate Harvey said his right to a fair trial was, quote, substantially prejudiced, going on to say, I am satisfied this is one of the clearest of cases warranting a stay of proceedings.
There is a fundamental unfairness to an accused where the evidence of what was said back then isn't available to them.
Judge Harvey said significant changes are needed in the categorization and storage of police reports and statements when it comes to historical allegations.
This is a very good decision overall. This is important for the integrity of our system.
One trauma therapist who has advocated for victims of Nygaard is worried about the message this sends to other survivors of sexual assault.
Why would I put myself through this? They might be thinking I'm better off just keeping this to myself.
Nygaard is already serving an 11-year sentence for 4 counts of sexual assault in Ontario. He also faces sex charges in Quebec and extradition to the United States for sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
As the fate of Marineland's 30 remaining beluga whales hangs in the balance, the shuttered theme park is pushing back against one of the proposals to relocate the animals. Marineland has been in the headlines since last week when the federal government blocked its request to send the whales to an aquarium in China. The park responded with a request for emergency funding, saying it didn't have enough money to feed the whales and may now have no choice but to euthanize them. Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson has said she'd like to see the whales sent to a sanctuary. Marineland argues no such destination is available for 30 belugas, including a paused project in Nova Scotia. Canada's main stock index was up, boosted by strength in the base metal and technology sectors. In Toronto, the TSX gained 150 points, while in New York, the Dow lost a point, but the Nasdaq added 255. The Canadian dollar fell just 1/100th of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained $66 an ounce, oil added 82 cents a barrel.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
History has been made by Canadian doctors in the world of transplant surgery. As CTV's Heather Wright reports, doctors were able to save, restart, and transplant the heart of a deceased donor.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, here in Windsor, 2 doctors are being celebrated for their dedication to organ donations. Our Chris Campbell attended a special ceremony today recognizing the doctors for their work.
Windsor Regional Hospital is once again being recognized by the Trillium Gift of Life Network, this time receiving top honors for outstanding performance in both organ and tissue donation conversion rates and for sustained excellence over multiple years.
Organ donation is a very complex process, and it requires a great deal of teamwork, compassion, dedication.
Among those honored, ICU physician Dr. Kyle Farini. He's one of 2 local recipients of the Hidden Heroes Award.
It really changes the life of recipients, and the loss of life is always tragic and hard for anyone involved, especially the patients and their families. But it allows to have a small moment of something good coming out of a tragic event.
The hospital supported 11 organ donors last year, resulting in 38 organ transplants and 29 lives saved. There were also 69 tissue donors who helped enhance the lives of countless others.
We sat down with the people here, and they explained it to us that the option was there if we'd like to, and the decision was pretty quick. We decided right then and there that we would do this.
Kevin Johnson Sr. lost his 29-year-old son, Kevin Jr., to addiction in March. He says it was the knowledge that their loss could help others survive.
I was by myself at the time. I was doing things, and I just sat in a car again and bawled. Honest to God, it's just amazing to think that he could save 5 lives. And the fact that his heart, all that he had been through. I mean, we know what he's been through, and I really don't want to go over all that he's been through, but to think that his organs, his heart, saved 5 lives is incredible.
Hospital officials say the recognition reflects both the compassion of staff and the courage of families who choose to give the ultimate gift.
Speak to your families about donation, about your wishes around donation. Register your consent, because we know that those who register their consent, when it comes to the time where donation is a possibility, their families are more likely to honor those wishes. And so it's important to speak to your families about that.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Ontario is speeding up access to some cancer drugs. A new pilot project will expedite 7 to 10 approved and high-priority cancer drugs each year. The Ministry of Health says it typically takes Canada about a year longer than other developed countries for newly approved drugs to reach patients. Health Minister Sylvia Jones says Ontario will start the process to fund select new drugs, while pricing negotiations are still underway with drug makers.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
There are thousands of Canadians jumping on the Blue Jays bandwagon in the MLB playoffs this year. CTV's Colin Weens, however, introduces us to a Kitchener man who is the exact opposite.
This ball here is signed by Kevin Pillar.
Self-proclaimed Toronto Blue Jays superfan Jim Shaunawill has been cheering for the Bluebirds for as long as he can remember.
When I was 18, when the Blue Jays won the World Series the first time, and I decorated my house,
His passion for Canada's only pro baseball team shines true inside his Kitchener home. A collection of Blue Jays carpets, seat covers, banners in the backyard, curtains, couch covers, even on the road. Other drivers know where his loyalty lies.
It's growing. I'm always collecting. I've added to my collection. I've made some of my own stuff. This one here is signed by Pat Borders, Billy McKinney, Cito Gaston's there. Joe Carter. That is Russell Martin's bat. This was their 20th Honda edition ball. Kevin Pillar bobblehead. Gladys bobblehead. I've even got a Blue Jays chess set back in there.
And it doesn't stop there.
You got Gladys rookie card. You've got Alex Manoah when he was still a star.
A book full of Jays sports cards and even cutouts of Shauna Will and his wife.
When the COVID happened, you could get your cutouts put into the stadium. So they went from out in Florida, then they went to Buffalo, and then they ended up coming to Rogers Stadium.
It's a collection that surrounds Shauna Will every time he sits down to watch a game. And of course, he tries to watch all 162 during the regular season.
If it has anything to do about the Blue Jays, I want to know what's going on.
And now with his beloved team still playing in October, Shauna Will plans to be planted in front of his big screen all postseason long.
There are times where my wife will be sitting in her chair or somebody, and they'll be talking to me, and they'll be going, "Hello, are you there?" So I kind of tune people out when the game is on.
Colton Ween, CTV News, Kitchener.
And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me one last time with that look at the forecast.
Michelle, I'm promising sunshine for the next couple of days, more seasonal values, upper teens, not too bad at all, comfortable. I saw some young people, especially in shorts and T-shirts, through the afternoon today. Sunny through the weekend, well, in part. I think to start the day Saturday, we'll see some mixture of sun and cloud, but then increasing cloudiness through the afternoon. There's a slight chance on both Saturday and Sunday of seeing some shower activity, not a complete rainout situation for either day. And Monday looks good. Happy Thanksgiving once again, folks. 21, mixture of sun and cloud. Fair weather and increasing sunshine and temperatures 4 degrees above seasonal Tuesday and Wednesday. So even next week, we'll be on the warmer side of things so far through this early stage of autumn.
Thanks so much, Gary, and thank you for watching. That's all the time we have for now. I'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 o'clock.